Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to complain about Star Wars again because...
That's right, because they just keep on dishing it out.
Oh my god, they never stop. It never stops.
So on 3 different sites, we have this put up, and of course Mary Sue is one of them. That, you know, Mark Hamill completely shuts down the Star Wars is for boys myth. Now, Mark Hamill wasn't saying this. Backstory is, a 5-year-old little girl wore Darth Vader, those sneakers right there, Darth Vader sneakers, but they look like boy sneakers, to be fair, to preschool or wherever she goes, kindergarten. And a 5-year-old boy at her school, I'm assuming someone in her class, a little kid, said to her that Star Wars is for boys. To which she gave the proper response, which is, it's for girls too, because it's always been for girls too, which we'll get into in a minute. And then Mark Hamill said, a very good response that didn't shame either child. I think Luke and Han are lucky Leia took over their rescue on the Death Star. It would have been a very short movie. Love his response. It addresses the issue, but it doesn't, like, you know, shame either child. Mm-hmm. That's all he said. And, you know, and of course the media is blowing up that, oh my God, finally Mark Hamill has spoken. And of course, you know, it's not a boys club, but no one was saying it was a boys club. The only people I've been seeing of late saying that it's for boys are the people that in the media going on calling all the men who don't like strong female characters misogynists because clearly they think Star Wars is just for boys when nobody said that.
The Force is female now.
Oh, right, yeah. What about the Force is female? The Force is gender neutral. It is a non-binary force. How dare you assume it's pronouns?
Oh, God. So before we get further into the video, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We're at 88,000.
I know, we're so close, guys.
Subs, hoping for 100,000 soon. We're going to debunk this because here's the thing. Everybody's like, we need to make more Star Wars for girls, and we're actually going backwards.
We are.
Because when Star Wars first came out, including the toys, girls were part of the equation.
They were.
Exhibit A, an early Star Wars toy commercial from 1978. Look at this girl playing with Star Wars toys.
How dare she?
How dare she?
That blows the narrative right out of the water.
It does. Exhibit B, yet another girl playing with Star Wars toys.
Yeah, the early bird set.
Yeah, this is the early bird set. She's very lucky. Very first Star Wars toy commercial, we have a boy and a girl playing with Star Wars toys. Exhibit C, girl and boy playing together on the Ewok Village playset.
That's right.
With mom.
Now we're into the 80s.
With mom. Now we're into the 80s.
And look, it's still for everybody. There's no shaming for girls. We're not saying girls can't play with toys. This has been a more modern, like you said, we're regressing. The toy companies started putting just the boys in the commercials and things like that. That was their choice. But people weren't saying it was just for boys. I mean, it was a little kid. We're not talking like some adult told another adult that she couldn't wear whatever because it was for boys. These are little kids, like in kindergarten. Kids say a lot of shit in kindergarten. I know because I'm a teacher and I work with kindergarten kids, and they say all kinds of stuff. Their stuff. They come to school and tell it. Parents really wish to God their kids hadn't come to school and told.
Yeah, what was that? They used to have those granola bar commercials.
It's Chewy.
Chewy stops the chatter.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to hear all kinds of stuff that I'm sure those parents would be mortified to know that their kids went to school. I know my daughter made some comments at school before. I was like, oh boy.
Hey, Squid King coming home and telling us about the special pudding.
Right. I'm just saying, kids say stuff. Do I think a little boy told her the shoes were boy shoes and they were Star Wars was for boys? Probably. Do I think this has got blown out of proportion and extremely? Yes, because what Mark Hamill said, he handled it in such a really classy way, which shamed neither child.
Yeah, I don't understand. Why is this new? This is like, again, with everybody being like, well, we need a strong female in Star Wars. I'm like,
there've been
ever since the very first freaking movie. Do you guys actually watch Star Wars?
The
do you
media
actually
is
watch Star Wars?
perpetuating this thing that it's Star Wars is for boys, or that men. Okay, let me rephrase that. The men think Star Wars is for boys, and if you don't like the new movies, it's because you're obviously a misogynist who would tell women that they can't like Star Wars. I'm a woman. Didn't like Rey. Sorry. So we go down here, and then of course the Mary Sue.
The Mary Sue.
Star Wars is for boys is a silly argument. It is a silly argument. 100% agree. It's been a silly argument every time you guys try to perpetuate it. It's a dumb argument. It has not ever been said that it was just for boys. Never. A lot of women I know who those of us who were around when the movies came out originally, a lot of girls liked it. I don't know where they keep getting this idea. And of course, here comes Mary Sue. Leia Organa is a character that has meant the absolute world to me since I first saw Star Wars as a child. Me too. A woman who wasn't afraid of wearing a dress and kicking ass. There was something about her I loved with my whole heart. Agree. Me too. And then it goes on. What I meant, though, is I would defend Leia with all my might, including when people would laugh at the idea of Leia being a hero in A New Hope. Who? Nobody. Who was laughing at Leia being a hero in A New Hope?
Nobody laughed.
I don't understand where you're getting this from.
Where are they getting... okay, the Mary Sue, though, let's back it up a little bit, because the Mary Sue, this is the same website that was shocked that Alien existed 40 years before current day.
Right.
You know, that we had strong female characters in science fiction 40 years ago. They're like, oh my God, like, I don't know why I never watched Alien until now. I'm like, if you had watched Alien, you would realize that everything you're bitching about has already been done.
And that's why people like us keep pointing out how dumb you look. Anyway, so they're like, you know, we first met Leia. She was captured by Vader, tortured, and forced to watch her planet get destroyed. And yet when Luke Skywalker comes to save her, she's relaxing. And she basically takes over her own rescue. I can't even. My head hurts. This is just like, there has never been a time where Star Wars has never been set up that it was just for boys. Not ever. It has always been, you know, for boys and girls, gender neutral. It's just for everyone. This whole idea that it's not for girls is a new thing. It is not something that they intended. It's not something that's been around.
We have to make sure it excludes some people. So when we come to the rescue, so basically we're going to put Leia in the cell, and then we're going to come rescue her.
That's right.
You know, the media is going to come rescue Leia after they put her in the cell.
Right.
To begin with.
Because most people, most Star Wars fans, I've been a Star Wars fan my whole life. Were there more guys and girls? Usually. But was it because girls were being told it wasn't for them? No. That's not what happened at all. I haven't seen this much that's only for boys until I'd say the last 10 years or so that we're hearing this load.
Yeah, this is appallingly tone deaf. This is like, I can't even, again, the Mary Sue, the same website that they admitted that they had never seen Alien until last year. So to see Mark Hamill take to Twitter to share that same thought, it hit me in a way I didn't expect, meaning I cried. Because finally, it wasn't just fans of Leia screaming into the void.
I don't know where, because above this, she's like, I've been saying that Leia saved Han and Luke, and no one will listen. I've been saying it for years, too. I've never had anybody mock me for it.
Star Wars
Not
fans
once.
have been saying it forever.
I know.
God, that was the joke. That was the joke. She's the damsel in distress, but she wasn't helpless. Very progressive for its time.
It was meant to be tongue in cheek. Oh my God, I can't.
They go save the princess, but she has to take over because these guys don't really know what they're doing.
I can't read it because I can't.
Luke Skywalker himself is on our side and agrees that Luke Skywalker and Han Solo needed Leia Organa to succeed.
I didn't know it was a question.
You're 40 plus years too late to the party, as always, Mary Sue.
Yeah. I'm like, this has never been up for argument. I don't understand who they're talking to. They've been told that it wasn't true, that Leia kind of saved Han and Luke. It's blatantly obvious in the movie. I mean, short of putting a narrative underneath with subtitles so you understand, because they go on, they're mad about that article with the She-Ra thing, and they're screaming in that one. Nuh-uh, there was plenty of LGBT subtext. But, okay, so there's plenty of subtext in that, but you can't read the subtext in this. It's not even subtext. It's right in your face with the main characters. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. This blows my mind. Again, it's like, look, I'm not calling out anybody's geek cred. I don't want to do that.
I'm so tired of everybody calling out everybody's geek cred.
But it is so weird to see the Mary Sue constantly attack old school fans when they themselves seem to be the last ones to the party.
I know.
Always.
And what Mark Hamill did wasn't anything other than bring up a point that everybody already knew. A lot of people knew. It wasn't just you. So keep crying. It wasn't just you. And he handled it in a way, as a parent, as a teacher, that didn't shame either child, which I thought was very well done. Because you don't want to shame, because you don't know what the boy's being told at home. Maybe he lives in a home that's, very, non-progressive, or maybe his sister likes Star Wars and other little boys bullied her and told her she couldn't like it. Or maybe, he's been, there's some families that
jealous. He wants her shoes.
Could be. There are some families that, because the parents have it in their head that if you let a boy play with girls' toys, it somehow makes them, going to be turned into a girl, and if you let a girl play with boys' toys, it's going to turn them into a boy. But the thing is, that's very few and far between. Most people do not act that way. This whole thing, I just can't even. It has never been assigned to a gender since the beginning. Go back to those pictures again. Because, it's all about, it's always been for boys, always since the beginning. So I'm glad Mark Hamill's finally stepping up and saying so.
Well, I don't blame Mark Hamill. I just think it's...
No, I'm not either. I'm just saying this is what they're saying. Their argument is, go Mark Hamill for finally setting the record straight. Luke Skywalker, who you didn't care if he was destroyed in The Last Jedi, suddenly fits your narrative, so he's a great character again.
Yeah, that's the thing too. The Mary Sue, they were totally fine with Luke being destroyed because who needs him? We've got.
It's about strong female character. And Hodo.
Yeah, as long as the men know where their faces belong and they're propping up the female characters, it's all cool.
Or he's saying something that they want, like Luke Skywalker just finally reaffirmed me. Oh my God! It's like he's saying something that is like everybody's always known. And you guys bash Luke in other articles.
Oh, so, they're dancing. I thought the boy and the girl were killing each other, fighting over the Ewok Village playset, but they're not. They're having a yub hoedown.
That would have been realistic. I want this.
Look at all that.
I don't remember this.
Glorious Ewoks.
I had Ewok plush
stuff. I didn't have any of that.
I like this one. I don't know what it is, but it's colorful.
It looks like a telephone.
I don't know, but I'm just like, but it wasn't just the Mary Sue. It was here's comicbook.com. Mark Hamill proves Leia was essential. Like no one knew that already. She was in all 3 movies and she was essential. How many times have I said that Leia held her own with the guys and she was a true strong female character because no one had to be less than to raise her up. She just kicked ass and they just had to keep up with her. I said that many times. There's that, and then we have. Would you have the CBR one? We had it before here.
Yep.
Mark Hamill completely shuts down the Star Wars is for boys myth that no one else is saying except for the media.
It's because these people that write these articles are all of like 22 years old. They didn't grow up with Star Wars. They're listening to what their college professors are telling them. And all of a sudden they think, again, this is like putting Leia back in the cell just so you can be the ones to break her
I think
out.
that Rachel's older. But my point is, it's just like, this myth did not exist. The myth appeared when they wanted to say that men hated Star Wars because they don't like strong female characters. They didn't really have this myth back with the prequels either. It's only been since the new movies with the Force is female shirts and all that. Oh, look at the man babies. And every time someone doesn't agree, they're automatically labeled a man baby. What if they're not a man? Is there a Star Wars? How do we shut down the myth that all people who don't like The Last Jedi are men?
Isn't this a little like the Sith? Let's create a problem that we can be the solution to. Yeah. Let's start a fake war, and then we'll be the heroes when we end the war that we started. Mm-hmm. I'm just putting that out there.
And that's what they keep doing. And here's the thing. It was a little kid at school. The little boy, she was right. She handled it already. She already handled it on her own. She said, it's for girls too. The little girl already handled the situation. And mom was just saying it to see what Mark Hamill thought of how she handled it. And he did it, and like I said, he gave a really good response that did not shame either child, and it was a very diplomatic response and a very accurate response. And then from that, he's busting the myths down.
It must suck being Mark Hamill because literally anything you tweet becomes 1,900 different articles.
I know. Sorry, dude.
I ate beans today. Oh my God.
Luke Skywalker says beans are the future.
Luke Skywalker says we should all be vegans.
Mark Hamill says that The Who's Tommy is the best movie ever. Because of the baked beans. I don't know. I'm just saying. Oh no, Mark Hamill loves the British because they eat beans on toast. Because he had baked beans today.
And Mark Hamill supports Brexit now.
That'll be the next thing, yes.
Oh my God, how dare he?
Because he said he ate beans.
And British people eat beans. Therefore, Mark Hamill supports Brexit.
I'm just like,
and migrant workers pick those beans, so he probably supports that too.
It's just, a lady said, here's what happened to my daughter. The daughter already handled it. That 5-year-old had it under control. Mark Hamill gives a very diplomatic response that supports the little girl, but supports fans that are boys or girls, big or small. And their takeaway is, like Mary Sue, makes Star Wars is for boys is a particularly silly argument. Yes, it is, because it didn't exist until recently.
Yeah, we'll just leave you with this. Look at those kids playing with Star Wars toys.
Shame they never put girls in the commercial.
Back in the 70s. Back in the frickin' 70s, before most of you were probably born, playing with Star Wars together. They do. I'm going to put
How many
links.
times are there girls in these commercials?
Those
are boys. Wait, is that girls or is that all boys?
It's hard to tell. It's the 70s. All right, guys, so we got to wrap this one up.
Yes.
Okay, so please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants. And remember, Star Wars is for everybody.
Yes, Star Wars doesn't have a pronoun.
Except for the man babies. Not for you. Go away, man babies.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.